Let's go. Welcome to the show. It's Project Open Mic. Let's take the show off right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me. Cause it's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Let's get the topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should. It's Project Open Mic. Let's take the show off right. Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's take the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Project Open Mic. Let's kick the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. What is going on, guys? This is your boy Take with another show that we're going on here with, which is Project Open Mic. So I'm gonna talk about some stuff tonight. Hopefully I get through most of this stuff that I want to talk about. And that we could kind of dig into, of course. So with that said, I want to thank you all. I hope you all are having a great night tonight and everything is going well. I know in all places is all great, but it is something that you're alive and you're hopefully healthy and everybody around you is doing all well. So let me just show this lovely mug of mine. So tonight's topic is basically something that is simple but yet complicated. And I want to talk about how, as it says in the title, how we have failed the kids. In most cases, we have. Now, in a general terms, yes, but not in, I mean, if individual wise, like I always say, people stupid, individual smart, that kind of setup is something that, of course, we have to, acknowledge and talk about. So, with that said, give me just 1 second here to make sure I am straight on everything. So, again, shout outs to people on Facebook, on YouTube, and of course at Tempo FM Live. Okay. Thank you guys for joining me. So, the reason I want to say about the kids stuff, we feel like kids, because of what I've seen that's going on today. It's not all great, it's not all good, but it's having conversation with certain people in the last couple of days has kind of spur on this conversation. One, and also something I got in the mail that spur on this conversation for me to talk about this issue. And it's something that we got to talk about. All right. So the thing that we have gotten now is that a lot of kids, it is sad to this day that there's a lot of knowledge out there to be learned. Kids have a lot of knowledge in their pockets, but there's a problem that they're not learning.
A lot of psychologists, a lot of educators, a lot of learning centers have just came out showing that the last half of the school year of last year, where people was doing the stay at home, where the kids were staying home from school and learning everything, trying to learn stuff. Only kids only absorbed 5%, and that's not good. So, because of course it's not easy to keep the attention of young kids, but also they just don't have the connection there to be taught. A lot of people, and the thing about it is, a lot of people are hands on hands. There are people who catch things quickly. There are people who can catch. Okay, there are people who catch on things quickly. There are people who can learn by visual. There are people who learn by repetition. The problem is, though, as for teachers that we've seen, is that the teachers themselves are saying, from a lot of teacher associates that was coming out and talking from the New York district, LA district, Florida, just to give you left, right, all kind of stuff, just the districts, they were coming out that it's hard to pick up on those cues on younger kids, including from K to 8, on what these kids excel at, because you don't have that. The video is all right, but your kid, the video does not portray when you're in the classroom to show what the kids need to learn. So that is one. Two, that the attention span has been gotten less and less over the years. Microsoft did a survey that the average American span for attention has dropped to less than 7 seconds, which is sad. We are pumping our kids with stimulus every second, from the newest cartoons right now to flashy mobile games to flashy videos to all kind of stuff. We're really desensitizing the kids and basically getting them to be also just now responsive, unless it's a super strong stimuli to keep their focus. So it is something that is very hard to try to hold together. But I'm going to bring up the school thing just as a cause, because that's not the only thing. The parents has failed as well too, and a lot of people say that the millennial the millennial generation is bad, blah blah blah. In some cases, some aspects, yes, but let's call a spade a spade. They're bad because their parents taught them too much nonsense. Is that they don't, as George Carlin said, if you don't, you know, as a kid, you don't touch the kid, interact with the kid gonna grow non-responsive. He said it in a more colorful way, but I'm not gonna do that. Trying to keep it as clean as I can. Um, we're not. There's a lot of teachers who are. There are a lot of parents who are not in their kids' life when it comes to school life, and and also in a young age, we're not teaching our kids to do certain things because, of course, we're busy working and everything. And I get that. That's why when I said last in the last show, when I said news comes with homework, is that with that you're not getting critical thinking. And I'm, for full disclosure, I'm a single male. I don't have no kids. I've raised my sister. I have raised other my nieces and nephews and stuff, and so I don't have it. My sister's the closest, being she's been around me 24/7, so I'll give that. But and I was the male figure in her to bring up. But we we're letting. I've seen stuff on Facebook. I don't be on Facebook typing as much stuff, but just for the Facebook crowd, I've seen stuff on Facebook where people are saying we are taught to hate, we are taught to this, we're taught to hate us, hate ourselves, we kind of stuff like that. A lot of parents don't sit down and tell their kids what's going on, to be honest with you. And I've seen that personally, from family to people who are friends, and I see what's going on. Now, of course, I am a person, like, I don't want to say that you teach your kids, you do it is your kids, you teach them. But I'm saying that's why I'm generalizing this and saying that we have failed them. That is why I'm saying that We have failed them as a generalization of together. Because now, what's going on in the world today, as we are seeing, it's craziness. And to see these young kids out there fighting because they're people saying about, okay, white privilege, this privilege. Generally, majority kids in America, not even majority, all basically almost all kids in America are privileged. Because there are a lot of black kids who are doing 10 times better than kids in other countries, different races. Hell, there are black kids who are doing better than whites in Arab countries, African countries, Arab countries, African countries. The black kids are doing way better than their counterparts, the kids over there, and South America, and then also in South America. But we don't take the time to have these conversations with these kids. We don't, and like I said, there's a reason why. As I said, I don't have a kid. I want to have a kid. I want to have a family, but we are doing a disservice of letting certain things happen. And I'm just going to be as raw as I can. So if I hurt anybody's feelings, sorry, but I'm equal opportunity offender. I just try to be as straight laced as I could with anybody out there. Okay. On a serious note. So right now, as I said, we don't teach our kids critical thinking. If you read a lot of the news today, a lot of stuff just passes over people's head. Most people just read the headlines. They don't read the article. I know because in majority of cases when I read the article, it's in most cases are opposite to what the headline was. The headline was flashy to get you there, but then you read through it down to the bottom, you it's like wait, why did that headline does not match the article? And that's why Mark Twain's quote of if you don't read the news, you're uninformed. If you read the news, you're misinformed, and he is correct. And the reason I know about that is another thing that we don't do. And again, if I ever get a child, that I will be starting out from the beginning because my mom did that with me. I'm going, yes, we have phones, we have flashy stuff. Kids do not read no more. When you read, you create some critical thinking, synopsis in your brain, and they're not doing that no more. They're not reading stuff. I still read books to this day, but I was granted into that. Again, as poor as my mom was, and I still wish man. To this day, I wish I kept those Encyclopedia Britannica before now everything become politicized. Because politics is now in sports, it's in science, it's in math. I'm gonna get to that. It's just ridiculous. It's stupid, but it is. So we just it is getting crazy out there. We are not getting. That's why I said if you get a news, you need to do homework. As an example, again, reading the New York Times, talking about New York, stating that you were saying, murders are up, but crimes are down. There's a flaw with that when you just read what I just read. How can I murder is a crime? So how can crimes be down and murders up? It should be all of it is up. Technically speaking, murders have been up 400% in New York in the last compared to last year, and it's not good. There's been people who've been beheaded, people who've been burned. That's the sad part about it. Critical thinking. People gloss over that situation right there of wait, how can murders be down? I mean, sorry, murders can be up and crime be down. Murder is a crime. If we teach our kids these logical stuff, they could pick up on a lot of things. One, by teaching them one to read or at a young age, and just get them to read. Just get them to read. You ain't gotta read nothing. Get them into comic books. Get them something that's fun, but get them into reading. Again, fire up them those synapses in your brain to critical think. One, but two, if you do that, that also gets your kids, because there are a lot of people out there who will, you teaching them to be a child to grow up. So you are basically teaching them not to be scammed by somebody else. Because the honest truth is, you're gonna people are gonna try you. People are gonna try to scam you. Okay, that's just how it is. I'm gonna just touch on these piece by piece, then go to this. A lot of kids also, which I'm gonna show you videos of this too. We don't teach our kids manners. A lot of these kids are unruly little kids. I'm not gonna lie with anybody. I literally seen it multiple times. Now, unruly little kids. I know the old Bible saying, "Spare the rod, spoil the child." I get that, and I think there's ways we could do without basically abusing kids too, because some people go beyond that. Hell, if the police right now in the society right now go back to what my mother did to me, she would be in jail. In most cases, she would say, "Oh, I'm," because as many times my mom was like, uh, "I would gladly go to jail, walk in there and close the door because of what you did and, and want to do stuff." So yeah, but I still say they don't have a lot of manners. These little kids are cursing at a young age because they're using the visual stimulus of the videos and stuff to pick up the curse words and all that stuff, and it's not really great. That's a sad situation. Another thing is, we don't teach them simple sense. As I call it, it's called common sense, but I can't call it common sense when it's not common no more. That's the problem. We used to have common sense in America, but no, not even America, Caribbean, a lot of places. But no, we have gone from this, because with simple sense, nobody can trick you into saying different things, because a lot of language have been changed, the words have been word meanings have been changed, and we create these super potential words that means nothing. But that's what's going on with that. And then you have history, which with what's going on now, a lot of people don't know their history about things, and it's sad. I've said it before. After I went in and looked through history of a lot of stuff, go in, read, find these things. I'm like, wow. I was like, how my history teacher make American history as boring, or in most history around the world? You can make movies, you can write great books from this stuff, which I'm going to talk about too. I want to talk about 1984 and what's going on in the current world today. But how can you make history boring? Give me the kids and stuff. I could make it very appealing. Of course, I'm not doing this because this is basically a video podcast, but it is. We're not learning our true history and what's going on. And then also, we're not teaching our kids to be individuals. My mom did that to me, and I'm happy. My grandma too, and I'm happy they did. We're not teaching them to be individuals. We're not. We're teaching them. We're letting them to be co-opted into these peer pressure, and peer pressure do all these crazy stuff of, you see young black teens having pregnancy parties, or same thing with trailer park trash white girls. You're seeing how the mindset of people created spaces for people to flourish, and then they waste the opportunities. They don't do nothing about it. It's just it is just bad. Just bad how that works. So I'm just go with I'll start off with this. I'll maybe we'll do a video showing this, of course, for people out there. Like I said, grew up in a small village, Newcastle, Nevis. If you saw the house, you saw the house that my family had the first. Whew, it's a miracle what they could do. If people could do with small house, and that happens in America too, and a lot of countries in the world. When you are poor or unfortunate, you stay in some places you think, wow, I survived that. Another thing is most of my family were females, still are, and I wish I could should have I should have had a picture for it, but I don't. I have a picture on my Facebook page of me and my grandma standing at one of my proudest moments. One, not all, of course, one of my proudest moments of when I win award shows in London. I was in London for music that my music got to acclaim, and you know people around the world acknowledge that, hey, this music is hot, is good, and it was hard work to get the album and all the stuff to do when you're doing it on a small independent budget as I did. But she was there. She was the one who gave me the name of TT Records. They gave me the idea and how I came up with TT Records. She gave me the ignition for that. Now I'll say this about what I'm they teach me individually and how to do stuff. And also pertains to race and everything. Because a lot of people say that, they teach us to hate each other and all stuff. You know what? In most cases, they do. And the people who say that mostly are the parents who teach their kids that, or they willingly let the outside influence what's going on. There's a good if you ever go on YouTube, there's a that happened yesterday, Joe Rogan podcast. You could see a which I liked was a back and forth between Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan as they talked about social issues and the race and everything, and it was very informative and very, like I said, and it's a conversation starter and it makes you think. And I like that. Would you agree with that? No, but it's just how that works out. So the reason I said it cause my grandmother never taught me nothing about being bad to that, the white man's gonna stop me or doing anything crazy. Neither did my mom. Neither did my dad. They basically just told me, hey, go out there, do what you can, learn. They put education into me. Grandma at the beginning, my mom when we moved to St. Thomas, put education into me, and she, as long as many people who watch on Facebook, my mom came from Nevis to St. Thomas, worked hard, realized her dream of doing what she wanted to do, but came to St. Thomas, work hard, didn't have a car. I think we didn't have a car for wait a minute, yeah, because until I graduated, I think from Charlotte Marley, my mom never had a car. So I had a but she made sure, and a lot of people did too, but she made sure to keep me active in a lot of things. As most again, my people on Facebook could back this up from what is they know. When we had PTA meetings, on St. Thomas, the small island. Let me see if I could find. Give me a second here. I want to show this. It's not, of course, it's compared to a lot of Americans. They ain't gonna worry about certain things, but just to let me see here. So we can see that. So give me a second. Let me take that down. All right. I just want to show it on the screen right here. So this is the Google map of St. Thomas. All right. I used to, and like I said, you know, which is not, it's miles. It's not. It's a small island, but you still have a lot of travel to do. So I used to go to, and most people know, we go again. We go to a little school about right here. There you go. It's a private school. My mom worked hard, and my dad put me through, and put, and same thing with my sister, because my sister followed the same steps of me, but put us through Moravian church school. That's what they put us through. Private school, you had to pay every month. And again, if I ever have a child, that's what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna have to work my butt off to get my child. Because some of these public schools, oh, I'm gonna talk about these public schools in another video. That it needs its own project open mic situation. But as you can see, my mom used to work all the way out here in Smith Bay doing pottery and stuff. She had to catch a bus. The thing about it is she had to catch a bus from here. And a lot of people do this in New York and everything too. It's set up that, but it's set up that way. So I'm not degrading anybody doing that. Those who do it understand what we're talking about. So shout outs to them. But she had to catch a bus all the way to say all the way then to over here, so we can so she had to go to parent teacher meeting. She had to go to that. We used to go to Charlotte. Charlotte Mall, we used to have baseball. So she put me in Little League. So she had to catch a bus all the way down to Emily Griffith Park, watch my games, then me and her catch a bus all the way back home, which was in Estate Thomas. And of course, Frenchtown had a baseball park where I do practices and stuff like that. She was active in my life. That helped out too. I'm gonna be like that, but yeah. But she was a single mom. She did what she has to do. I mean, active in these kids in my life. Again, that's what I said. Encyclopedia Britannica. She spent thousands of dollars to buy the whole eight at that time in 1992, which is crazy. And again, I wish I had these books still to this day. But hurricane came in 2017 and destroyed those books from the hurricane, and I'm beating myself on that one, because I would love to give those to my kids so they could see certain things without like I said, without the politicking and politicizing of everything now, which is getting annoying. That's why I talk about. That's when people are like, oh, you talk about politics. I talk about politics because politics affects culture, and culture right now is getting messed up by it. But my point is that she did what she had to do in that regard. Keep my mind interested, to keep me ignorant in a way, because I learned stuff, because she helped make me challenge me to, you know, keep learning about things. That's what she did, and I like that. But she never taught me about. She taught, like I said, she taught me individualism, to be like, you got to do things on your own. You got to do this your own. And the best version of that happened when I was in high school, when I was tasked of doing this book report and stuff presentation with classmates. And I remember to today because it stand out. We were supposed to do this book report and a presentation in front of the class. I had a bunch. It was with a couple of people. I know their names, but I'm not gonna call them out because I'll be wrong. But let's just say it was four of us. We had 3 weeks to do things, and then time came, and I did my part. I keep on trying to get these guys organized and say, hey, let's do this. Let's blah, blah, blah. Nah, they out chilling, playing, doing what they got to do, whatever. Of course, the like 2 days before the thing is done, they're like, oh man, I don't know what I got to do, blah, blah, blah. This, oh, I might get an F, whatever. I cannot say I'm a fan of, I hate it, but I've been doing it lately myself. So I'm not going to say I can't, I could criticize myself for doing this, but I hate putting things off to the last second. I hate procrastination. But because I didn't want to get an F, I did all their parts. So the day of the presentation, of course, I give them their parts. We did everything we're supposed to do. I put it set up in a way that they could read it, whatever. And we got an A's. It's all great. But after that, I was like, yeah, I can't depend on people like that. So I we gotta teach our kids, look, the only thing you can control, because a lot of these people, a lot of these kids now in the streets fighting and stuff, talking about this stuff, they're like, oh no, you can you want to have change, that's all good. I'm not against that. But we have the only thing we could control is I don't think I could control basically is my hands and my feet, my mouth, anything that's personal to me. Everything outside of that is a coincidence or happen chance. And that's what we need to teach our kids so they know, hey, suck it up, as they were saying, or suck it up, buttercup. If you mess up, it's on you. There's been times where people have hell, I just had a conversation with somebody 2 weeks ago, and they were asking, is it me, this, like, I said, no, it was my fault. No, it's not your fault, it was my fault. I was, things was happening and it was my fault. And she was like, oh, uh, I'm just making sure, like, no, it's my fault. I messed up. I'm the one who, it was totally me. That was it. And I think when you teach kids that the responsibility stuff, they know that once they got some skin in the game, they know they have some responsibilities to take care of. But right now, a lot of kids are being taught to be, including in Black America, to be victims. It's not your fault that you messed up. It's the white man. It's not your fault they messed up. It's the system. It's not your fault they messed up. It's that. And again, and that has happened. But as I said to people out there, like I said, my mom didn't tell me that. Didn't tell me that. She just told me, hey, do what you gotta do and try your best to whatever. When I was young, if again, I've said it multiple times, if I could go back, if I could time travel back to maybe back before I went to St. Thomas and tell my young self about this, what I have now, what I've done, my young self would be like, get out of here. I never thought I'd travel the world. I never thought I'd want to have my own company. I never thought I would help other people, rise them up out of, to help them when they needed help. I never thought that I would like travel the world from Hong Kong to Japan to Australia to Brazil. Like those things, I would never thought of those things would happen. But you know what? Most of it is luck. I'm not gonna deny it. Some people say, "Oh man, because you had talent." Okay, you're getting talent. That's cool. I'm happy for that. But I don't know. It's just where how where that goes. But I'm happy I went that path. Now, into saying that, we're not, like I said, now going to why I'm doing this. Again, I know people say, well, you're different, whatever. Okay, yes, I get that. But I didn't let nobody hold me back to get to be successful. I follow a couple rules a lot of people say, and I would tell this to young kids out there who listen to this. Graduate from high school. Don't have a kid before you have set up. Don't have a kid, male or female, unless you are married or in a really committed relationship. Because again, you don't have to be married, but in a really committed relationship. You do that simple, most of that stuff, you would not get in trouble. The statistics of in America, where people talking about what all's going on right now, the statistic of you getting murdered by getting harassed, getting murdered by a cop, is even less than, is almost as less as dying if you're under a certain age from the virus. But if I don't walk around with my pants sagging, I don't walk around looking like a certain way. I try my best to keep as clean as I can. I don't engage in a lot of nonsense. I'm as a multi as I said many times. Like when I came up here and I went to and got up here and got scholarship and everything, and I went to school, college. When my grades was flying out a little bit, and I was having fun and partying a little bit. I ain't gonna say a lot because I wasn't really a party person too much. I had to buckle down. And right now, that's what I do right now. People's like, oh, you don't go to places, whatever. I've had my fun when in my 20s of traveling the world and stuff in that regard. But even back then in college, go work, go school, come home. That's it. Go work, go school, go home. Right now, I go work, I come home. Unless for shopping and stuff like that. But I'm just still like, that's all I do. Keep myself, limit the places where I gotta get myself in trouble. Yes, as a black male in America, you will be perceived certain way. That is true. I'm not gonna deny that. That's messed up. But that's not up to you to turn. It's not. A friend of mine said, "No matter what you did, they're gonna call you the N word." And I said, "Yeah. So what does that mean?" Yeah, and I don't care. You don't care, no, because they could call me that, and that's their own ignorance. That's their own religiousness of what's going on. Doesn't mean that I gotta act like the N word. I've told many of my people that I've to friends, to people I talk to, don't ever call me that. I'm never gonna change it to mean it in an endearing term. It's never been used for that. So y'all go mess with that nonsense. But my point of saying what I'm saying is that I don't. If we teach our young boys, that's where we need a lot of fathers out there who in the black community, but also in the white community and everything too. We need fathers out there, and that's what they've been destroying the situation right now to teach their sons how to calm down. In most cases, the sad part about it, some fathers learn from their mothers that their emotions get in the way and still teach their sons that, even though they try to fix it. But yeah, in a real life, just to keep them calm. Words don't hurt me. A lot of people think that I'm. A lot of people say that I'm. Most people I've dated in the past have said, "Oh, you're too nonchalant." If I can't fix, I can't let words bother me. Okay, you physically want to do something, that's a different story. Call me whatever you want, no problem. But no, that's another thing we need to teach our kids how to just de-escalate certain things. I've been in a spot where a cop had a gun to my head. I've talked about it before. Had a gun to my head because of misunderstanding. I'm still here. Again, not all the time that's going to happen, but still, the chances were that I would do something stupid and elevate it and try to be all belligerent, or just calm down and just whatever, because I know I'll get figured out. Again, I want to be judged by 12 than carried by 6 anytime. Okay, just to make sure of that. I literally, what was it, maybe 5 months ago, I'm coming out of Walmart. And again, the situation changes. I bet that person feel bad, or maybe not. I don't know. I'm not in her skin. I'm coming out of Walmart. This lady, this white lady, parked beside me. Now, old lady, she has her car, what do you call it, her trunk up, but she also putting stuff in in the side of her car, which of course is blocking my passenger door. Now I was talking on the phone to a friend, and I'm walking up. Now I'm standing there because I'm like trying to say, okay, how to yo trip, let me see something here. And she looked around, she said, yes, can I help you? Looking like like I'm very vulnerable because I am 6 foot tall, and she's an old young lady. I said, well, ma'am, seriously, yeah, I can't, I can't, that's my car and I can't really get to the door. She's like, oh, I apologize, oh, I'm so sorry. And could she have make it racist and think this because she's a black man just looking at her or whatever? Yeah. But you know what? Did I change her? What I did is like, oh, okay, no. And I helped her put her groceries in the car. All right. Could she have said, oh, I'm sorry that that happened that way? Or maybe not. I don't know. But she apologized. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see. I didn't see a block your door. I'm so sorry. I didn't think. Oh, you helped. Oh, you don't have to do this. And I was like, no, no, I'm just helping you. So thank God. God bless you, and whatever. And we moved on. It's one of those situations where you can make it worse, or you could just be like, whatever. And I've seen it where, say stuff, you say them because I'm black, and it just elevates and escalates fast. Now I'll show you that too. It's not, that's a problem. It really is. And it's sad. Now, like I said, many ways we are failing our kids is that it's sad when I look at some of these things. But the reason I talked about this when I say we're failing our kids is we don't even teach them the simple how society works, which I think is very important. Okay, I'm dead serious on that. We need to teach kids about tax. That's why it leads into history and everything. We need to teach our kids about how society works. It's sad that our school system got rid of economic, get rid home ec. They don't teach people how to cook. Everybody's like, oh, go out there and whatever, but they don't teach them how to cook their own food. I literally, I saw, I do experiments sometimes. And I saw on an experiment this woman, 36 years old, you know, and it's sad. A lot of guys fall for this. Yes, does she look good? Yes, she does. But then she's like, I don't know how to cook, and I'm like, how the heck you single? You don't know how to cook? What? So you just eat out? Like, I don't want that. And as a guy, I don't want that for my children. I want them, the wife and the mother of my children to cook food. Now, I am a cook, and most people say I'm a chef. And like I said, my mom, in a situation of what happened in how she had to work and everything, I had to learn to be cooking from since I was like 11 years old because I moved to St. Thomas when I was 5. In 5th grade, so I was 10. I had to learn to cook macaroni hot dogs, simple stuff. Now I'm cooking tilapia out for, and I'm gonna do a channel on that. I literally gonna do a channel on YouTube, T3 reviews or something like that. I'll figure it out. You'll show you I review technology because as people will hopefully will see that I do a lot of technology stuff again. I learned how to build computers because I was interested. So I build my own computers. I don't buy computers. I build my own computers. And lucky for me, my third cousin said that he wants to build a computer. So I'm gonna tell him, hey, you're gonna come across, you're gonna learn how to build a computer. So you know what is in there, how to fix it, how to do stuff. Stuff like that is, and I'm gonna again mentoring younger kids. So I'm gonna do that. But lately I learned like I said, I'm doing cheesecake. Like my aunt who passed away, very good baker. She taught me how to do cake from scratch, and she could, boy, can she do a lot of stuff. And the one thing she said that I have mastered was cheesecake. She said, "Oh man, your cheesecake is the best in the world." That's what she told me. So, but I had to, but it's kind of weird that we get rid of home ec. Also, I think it's kind of bad that we don't teach simple economics in 12th grade before you graduate. That should be a requirement. And the reason I say because of what kicked off the show in what I said, I started the emphasis on it was this. Last year, I'm in this house, good and great, whatever. New house, a lot, multiple rooms, blah blah blah. Not to thing, but my point is, it's a big house, and my tax bill was, and I'm just rounding for this. My tax bill was $1,200. All right, $1,200 for my tax bill. Same house, price ain't changed or nothing. Now in my county, they play that stupid game, which this is why I don't get. That's why I'm not a fan of government. It does annoy me. I'm not a fan of government. Good baker, terrible singer. Okay. Whatever, sir. Um, Shout outs to Double A. Um, in 1 year, my taxes went from my property tax went from $1,200 to $2,400, basically close to $2,500, so more than doubled. We don't teach our children how society works. And I'm not talking about the whole white or black and all that nonsense. I'm seriously talking about real civil society, how it really works and thing. Because that's what I want to teach my kids if I ever have kids. Government has a role. It does. But I never understand, as people on the left always say they want to give more power to the government. For what reason? I don't get it. Because that's what messes up a lot of things now. Remember, government barely makes any product. They basically permit services and everything. It comes out of your taxes. So when I see a lot of these people saying right now with the right, let's go critical thinking into what I'm gonna say right now. Critical thinking. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's rights. It's rights. No, it's peaceful protest. It's rights. Peaceful protest. It's both. I will stand by any person's First Amendment right to peacefully assemble. I will. But as soon as you start chucking rocks, hitting people, destroying property, it's not a peaceful protest. It's a riot at that point. Or that knucklehead started that, and hopefully people could quell that person. What's going on right now, like in Portland, they've been rioting for 2 days straight. And the mayor just is a piece of crap. The governor, piece of crap. Make no difference about it. Now, it starts off with a protest. You have moms and you have shirts locking on, which I got a problem with those moms because they're the ones who are raising these stupid ass kids in most cases. I digress. But it starts as a piece of protest. Then after 11 o'clock, it doesn't. Because if you're a piece of protest, why are you throwing Molotov cocktails? Why are you throwing rocks? Why are you throwing all that stuff at people? At that point, and defacing and spraying a lot of stuff, at that point, you're destroying stuff. Now, the point that killed me is this. As the mayor says, we don't want federal. Again, I'm going to just be straight up honest. The president we have right now, a lot of people don't like. I get it. I understand. But you know what? From going over back from Bush 1 up to now, he's the only one I've seen that follow the daggone Constitution with the whole federal, state, and government. Again, he can't open up the United. He can't open up the states itself because he don't have that power, and he knows this. He knows this, but the media just messes everything up. And most of the media are these kids, these millennials who don't understand and don't know these kind of things, and it's sad. He has the right to protect federal buildings. Why are he protecting the federal buildings in Portland? Because they're going and destroying it. Okay, they're going and destroying it. So these young kids, young people who don't understand simple economy, simple how the government work, whatever. Remember, the government makes their money off of us. No matter what country is, you make your money off of us. We pay taxes so they could do what they want. That's why I don't like that. I'll show you a video about that too. So let me get this straight. These kids are going, destroying these buildings. They're defacing it. Okay. You're destroying government buildings. You know they still have to rebuild them, right? So what does that mean? Higher taxes. And then these kids, when they get older, like, oh, why are these taxes so high? Because you destroyed property, you morons. I'm talking about the ones who really go at it. Most of them don't know, but it is. I don't want to be condescending, but it is. And we don't teach these kids this. That's why they're making these messages right now. Right now, as an example, again, so the Minnesota, defund the cops, abolish the police. They did that. Defund the cops, abolish the police. All right. They let the rioters, not the protesters. The protesters, the rioters, the rioters. Language and words does makes a difference, and that's what we need to teach our kids as well. That's what I'm saying. Common sense, simple sense, teaching these kids this stuff. The rioters are destroying, and the anarchists, they're doing this stuff, right? The president said, I'm going to send, you need help, I'm willing to help you out. They said no. They defund the police or whatever. But here comes the Minnesota government. Hey, federal, can you pay us $500 million to fix our city? You let your city burn. And you let your city burn. You take away the cops, you told them to push back, you all this stuff, and then you're asking everybody around the world in America to fund yours, what you did, governor and mayor of Minnesota and Portland and California and New York. Really? You got these kids down burning down their own schools, their own campuses, and then they want to know why tuition is high. Again, government is the problem, that one. But why tuition is high? Because of that, because you still have to build back the buildings. You got people in Portland, like I said, in Seattle, when they had the Chaz, where they had that autonomous zone. Those guys were destroying, were stopping people from businesses from doing their business and everything. So now the business owners are suing the government. Here's the funny part. The business owners are suing the government. That means they're suing themselves. That's why you don't want to give government that much power. I don't care left, right, whatever in an American situation. You don't give them that much power. I've talked about this before on previous shows and stuff. I do not want to give President Trump much power. If there's something I like about him, okay. There's something I don't like about him, okay. I don't want to give him that much power. Why? Because that's what came about Republicans and Democrats. Best example. Back when Bush was the president, President Bush had the thing about the Patriot Act and saying we're gonna do this and that. Senator at the time, Senator Obama was on the floor saying this is gonna take the rights from people. This is gonna take the rights from people. We're gonna spy on people. Blah blah blah. And I agree with President Obama. But the Republicans, when they had the power, was cheering and gave President Bush, gave President Bush that power. The Democrats was like, "This is wrong," blah blah blah. The Republicans was like, "Yeah," because their person was in the president and the party. Okay. President Obama is now elected. He did not just take the Patriot Act and say, "Oh, wow, bad idea. Let's destroy this," because I talked about it when I was a senator that this is not a good thing for Americans. No. When he had power and the Democrats was in the House and everything else, they were like, "Oh, this is, you think, bad idea. This should happen." I've done a video on this channel showing how back then when people say, "Oh, President Trump was stopping the illegal immigrants," whatever, but you could find Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Nadler, all the Clinton, Obama saying we should keep our borders because keep borders and protect our borders because illegal immigration hurts a lot of Black people. Compton is more Hispanic than Black, and now they got people out there who can't get jobs working at McDonald's in certain parts of California because they don't speak two languages. Kind of weird. But they have that, right? Now they're in power. They took it to the next level. They take that power that the Republicans gave Bush and took it to the next level. He said we should not be spying on people. What do we have now? The NSA spying on people. Took that same power and carried it to the next level. That's a problem. You don't want to give one party. Always, because everybody always think, oh, we're gonna be Republicans for the rest. Well, let's be honest. A lot of people think we're gonna be the Democrat Party going to win for eternity, so we're gonna give them all the power, which is a bad thing. But we've seen New York, L.A., Washington, Chicago again, run by Democrats. Just saying, but you don't want to give them that power right now. There was a kind of a Supreme Court ruling that kind of does something. It's hard to get into, but basically this simple version of it is that if, because the Democrats don't want this power, if they get in full power within the next 2020 or 2024, they could change the rule and break the Constitution, which is wrong that the Supreme Court let this happen. But we mostly sell our rules now. The Supreme Court makes more rules than the judicial system. Again, that's another thing we don't teach our kids: the judicial, legislative, and the executive branch, how they're supposed to be separate and whatever. But it's sad. The legislative branch, both parties have been crappy for the last 20 years. But the thing that set it up that they could try to they're not really averting the Constitution, but they're gonna, in a way, they could work around it so they could get simple majority. You do not want. I'm telling you right now, you do not want majority vote to work. When I first came to America, I thought, yeah, if you vote, the most popular person should vote. Then I looked at it, I was like, wait a minute, nope. And then people taught me about it, the electoral college and stuff. That makes sense. And then when I looked into more, I was like, wait a minute, if we do popular vote, all we're gonna ever have is Democrats running the whole country, because California and New York are the two biggest population centers that would vote blue, and they vote blue and they vote and would win. It's like, wait a minute, okay. And then my mind goes to like, wait a minute. I look at California, unemployment crazy, homeless is crazy. They literally have people walking around watching poo off the street. They came with this idea to give take people, because of the COVID, take people off the streets, put them into hotels. So if you're a hotel owner, I wish good for you. Put them in the hotels, give them free booze and all this stuff. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? They have a $283 billion deficit that they have to owe. They talk about, oh, we want environmental health, whatever. Their air is as bad as anything else compared to any part of the country. Why would I want that to be taking over the whole country? I don't get that. So people who vote in small states or unless unpopulated states don't have a say into anything. The electoral college was a smart thing that their founding fathers did. Happy they did. We got to keep that. But going back into the government part I'm talking about, we're destroying all buildings. They have to pay, so your taxes go up. So I always laugh and be like, oh, your taxes are always going up because of that. You don't tell these politicians, use the money that you guys give them, say they do all good causes, they create bureaucracies, then they said, hey, I'll give a good example of that. Hurricane Sandy happened in New York a couple of years ago. Congress came together, right? They said, we're going to do called the Sandy Bill. I hate it when these names are just so pain in the butt. The Sandy Bill, all right? $52 million. $54 million. That's high. $54 million was supposed to go towards New York and New Jersey to help with what happened to the hurricane. Do you know what actually happened? $52 million of the dollars went all over the country. Only $2 million went to those states. But they said it was for those two states. And then, of course, they raise your taxes to do that nonsense. That's why I'm against that. Speaking of that, let me go into one that speaks about that. Showing you, because people, good intentions, there's a reason why they say good. The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Want a soda?
And just to show you that. So let me get talking about. Let's talk about like Let me see here. For this yeah, let's put it down here for now. And let's play this. Talking about taxes.
This will cost you more in Philadelphia because politicians there voted to tax these.
Ayes are 13, the nays are 4. Majority of members present.
Listen to the.
Oh, and again, I want to point this out too, because people always get this messed up. But I always say this. When I see people saying about, oh wow, coming from a country that's predominantly black, when people are like, oh wow, the first black this, the first black that, the first woman do this, I do not care. I'm pointing this out. I do not care what your color is and in that situation, the race is. Why? Because I don't like the government. They always tax us, take money, and then take their money off the top, trying to say they're helping us, which they don't. They're helping their pockets, and then they. So you telling me I should feel better that a black man is stealing from me than a white man, or a black woman stealing me than a white woman? I never understand that logic. I don't care. You still steal it from me. But I digress. But let's continue.
Applause.
The sugar sweetened beverage card.
There was more applause when the bill was signed. The politicians said the tax will fund early childhood education.
This will be great for this community and to help a lot of families.
But store owners say
It's a bad tax.
Melvin Robinson, who runs Bruno's Pizza, says the soda tax is killing his business.
Oh, let me preface this by saying this to let young people, because again, I try my best to have these videos be clean as possible. So if anybody out there wants to share these videos with your young kids and teach them stuff, hey, more power to you. Please do. If you don't, it's understandable, but that's why I try to make sure that I don't have a lot of cursing and profanity laced stuff, whatever. Okay. The reason I say I want to preface this is by this, just like how we had the whole thing with Asheville, North Carolina, was saying, oh, yes, we're going to have reparations. They talk a good talk. And then they get, by doing that, they get more money in their pockets. 1, 2, they get their friends, their cronies, whatever, to get jobs, which is messed up too. And 3, people always think they could outthink human nature. That's the flaw. That's the major flaw with a lot of communists, socialists, Marxists, all these things. They think that we should, this is stuff that we should do for our, this would be great. Humans could do this, not knowing that if you change the rules, people will adapt. There's been shown many times when you see those labs where you have the mice running around to get the cheese. They will do things to adapt to get what they gotta get. It's in our brain. It's innate. We act on it in most cases. But again, you heard what she just said. Oh, it's it's a great thing, and they always show the kids. It's a great thing.
More applause when the bill was signed. The politicians said the tax will fund early childhood education.
This will be great for this community and to help a lot of families.
But store owners say
It's a bad tax.
Oh.
Melvin Robinson, who runs Bruno's Pizza, says the soda tax is killing his business. What do your customers say?
What they say, they not buying it.
I refuse to buy soda in Philadelphia.
For a 20-ounce soda, almost $3.
So instead of buying at Bruno's, they cross the street because Bruno's is located right on the outer edge of Philly.
Again, human nature. They go around it.
If I gotta get a soda or a juice, I go right across the street.
Right, these customers just cross the street, save a buck.
When I want something to drink, I go right there.
But he comes here for the pizza.
Yeah, they got the best slice in town.
But the soda tax still punishes Melvin. This happens whenever local governments impose special new taxes.
Oh, and that's what I forgot who he said. Milton Friedman said, oppose all taxes because they always make it looks good, and then you see what really happens again. Again, human nature.
Who should pay $3 for a drink that they used to get for 99 cents?
Say that again, ma'am. Remember, they voted for this unanimously, but she said it. Say that again, ma'am.
Like, who should pay $3 for a drink that they used to get for 99 cents?
Okay. Who should pay that? Crazy, huh? And they always say we helping minorities and everything. But it always help the poor, the minority, and everything. Every time they pay these taxes, we're going to help the minority, we're going to help the poor. It doesn't do it.
If customers can escape, they will. Do the politicians think about that? So a buck more for one of these.
It definitely is more, but it's for what we feel is a good reason, for a good cause.
City Councilman William Greenlee says Philadelphia needs the tax money.
Nothing else that we could come up with could raise that kind of funding.
There is a way you could do it. A lot of people don't. That's what I said. Economy just again. Okay, goes to Anzania Cortez. How the heck you graduate out of college with an economics degree and you don't know simple economics? That's crazy. Our school systems have been failed. That's why I say I'm in private school. But in simple economics, there's a way to do it. Drop the taxes. Let it be easier for new businesses to open. And when you do that, more businesses means more people are hired. More people are hired means more taxes. More taxes, then you can use the money, get your money, sir. That's simple. That's how you do it. No, we got to raise the taxes up. Okay. It's going to help the poor.
But soda taxes are disproportionately paid by poor people. Even so-called progressives campaigned against this tax.
You don't have to fund childcare on the backs of the poorest people in this city. That's a regressive way to raise funds.
It hits the poor most. Even Bernie Sanders opposes this tax.
I didn't know Bernie opposed it, but okay. Remember, we're raising enough money to put 2,700 kids in pre-K and to open 11 community schools.
The pizza parlor's customers didn't think their taxes were being well spent.
Preschool? I doubt that very much.
The mayor says he's helping people.
He ain't helping me, he's tearing me up.
Meanwhile, taxes create unintended consequences. Soda sales are way down, but sales of more harmful products are up.
So here you go. So if it's down 57% because you taxed it, then the tax you had is less. Learn how. Great example of that, San Francisco. Another example of that, I should say, another example of that, San Francisco. San Francisco had a ban tax on plastic bags. If you wanted plastic bags, you had to pay 5 cents. Okay, when people stopped using the bags, then they raised it up to 10 cents. They said it's better for the environment. But then they tell it you bring your own bags to there. It's more dangerous. You get more bacteria. And now they got rid of that whole bag tax altogether and get rid of tax because they say it's better to have your own individual bags. As he just stated, the consequences. This is a problem. A lot of government politicians in college, there's a problem with from college. And what college is, they teach you a lot of theories. A lot of these people never went into the real world to test their theories. It's just hypotenuse that's just there. They tell you this, and then they think, oh, that's what it should be, and that's all it. But they never test it. That's why I would always, if anybody have a disagreement with me, it's cool. But I will always argue from the point of human nature. Humans gonna do certain things to get over stuff. So now the intended consequences of you raise the tax. Okay, now tax don't mean nothing because they're not 50% down now. People are not buying sodas.
Now some people are buying more liquor. Less Coke, more liquor.
I don't know about that, because we have a liquor tax too. So
Politicians love taxes on unhealthy things, and so do the media. They applauded when Denmark taxed fatty food.
Denmark has decided
This
to
is crazy.
implement what they're calling a fat tax. Basically, you go to the supermarket, you buy a food that has above a certain level of fat, they charge you extra. All right, do we feel good about this, Doc?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Oh,
But
okay.
Danes just crossed the border to shop in other countries.
As I say, human
Within
nature.
a year, Denmark repealed its fat tax.
Oh, really? How could? Wow, I don't know what to say about that, sir.
But Philadelphia isn't repealing anything.
Because again, same thing happened with France. Story goes, Francois Hollande, the last president, said we're going to tax rich people. We're going to tax the rich people. And again, this is a good situation to where I was saying with AOC with her stuff, saying what she's saying, which is ridiculous. But anyway, when she said when this in France, Francois Hollande said we're going to tax the rich, 80%. I don't know what person in their mind will you telling me the government takes 80 cents. Well, California 66 cents, but whatever. 80 cents on the dollar. So I work for $1, you take 80 cents from it. You out your mind? Well, a lot of here's here comes again that thing about human nature. The rich people, the really rich people, you know what they did? They had their chateaus that was like 25 million, 30 million. They were selling it for 5 million because they were moving out of the state. See, the problem that a lot of people forget when they talk about this nonsense is rich people can move. They have the power and the money to move from this situation. So when they moved and these people was cheering for it, like you heard all the cheers, yay, they cheered for it. That top percent moved out. So you know what happened? You got elevated up. And when people was like, whoa, in middle class in France was saying, well, we're paying this crazy. He had to, just like Denmark, had to repeal the tax. It's like, oh, wow, this is crazy. Yeah, let's not do this. And AOC right now is saying we need a billionaire tax in New York. A lot of people are moving out of New York City. Funny enough, New York State and Jersey pay New York City for taxes, and they're moving. So when that income's good, so again, that income is dried up. That money you would gain, gone. AOC, you stopped 26,000 jobs from Amazon, gone. The tax revenue is not there. So what are you going to use to help what?
People in this town already pay 44 taxes.
And as you can see to the side, I'll read them: federal income tax, federal capital gains tax, state income tax, sales tax, cigarette and alcohol tax, as he just said, cigarette and alcohol tax. Oh, you're gonna get cigarette and alcohol tax, huh? City of Philadelphia income tax. Yeah, same was with me where I was.
Tax, sales tax.
City of Philadelphia school property and tax transfer. Tax transfer. I'm transferring. You pay on transferring. So say they're thinking dog license. You got dog license tax, parking ticket, to residential park tax, tolls. I don't know what the hell is the PCO tariffs. Philly amusement. Oh yeah, I remember that. You have to pay a tax if you want to have amusement. I remember that because with the video game happened back in Chicago and stuff, when they had it a couple of years ago. You have to pay a percentage if you want to buy a video game because it's an amusement. So if you want to watch a movie and whatever, you have to pay a tax to do that. Plus on the sales tax that you're paying on. That's crazy.
Alcohol tax.
You go to a hotel,
Philadelphia
you pay
has
a hotel tax, a cable tax, business tax, permit, all that stuff. I'll let him replay without me cutting it off,
already
though.
pay 44 taxes. State income tax, sales tax, cigarette and alcohol taxes. Philadelphia has a very high income tax compared to other places. How can you not have enough money?
The wage tax is
rolling
high.
in money.
And that, I don't know about that, but there's a lot to do out there, John.
$4 million for the Office of Arts and Culture. Funded 2 sessions of dance instruction. Teach youth empowerment, social issues through hip hop.
Office.
I'll slide it back again. $4 million to do 2 little cinemas was not. They had a lot of people showed up. Good that they have the video there to show this that, but it was a lot of people. A lot of people did not show up. $4 million, really. I give another example. I forgot the guy's name. That eludes me. He went to San Francisco. He cleared up. Oh, he did it in Maryland as well. But he cleared up a block in 6-block radius in San Francisco. And people volunteering and everything. Sadly enough, it was the president. I try not to be, but I gotta be honest with you. It was Trump supporters cleaning up the blocks that the thing. So let me get it straight. You're paying people $60,000 a year to walk around a hazmat suit, which is DS, to take a hose and spray off the needles and feces that's on the street, right? This guy, and that's one person doing that. There's multiple persons doing that. This guy went there. He cleaned up a whole 6 blocks radius, which is nice. It looks nice. It's clean. Oh my goodness! It's before and after. It's ridiculous. He had 2 dumpsters. All that, plus volunteers, of course, like I said, $6,000. $6,000. But we need a government to spend all, they don't spend it. They take off the money themselves.
Arts and Culture does a very good job in the city of Philadelphia.
Dance instruction. Teach youth empowerment, social issues through hip hop.
Office Arts and Culture does a very good job in the city of Philadelphia.
Like we need that.
They're funding the arts.
What arts? People trying to live.
Politician says we got to raise money.
Stop stealing. That would be nice.
Thank you.
I don't know that he's stealing, but he pays himself $121,000 a year.
Wow.
You make $121,000 a year, 3 times what the median income, what your citizens make.
Well, I don't think that's terribly unusual for elected officials.
Sadly, he's right. Politicians routinely make much more than the people they allegedly serve.
A lot of citizens should make more money.
Of course.
Well, they can't make more money when you're taxing them to death.
Well, I don't think we're taxing them to death.
The politicians always want more, and the restaurants, they just have to pay.
And there you go. That's it. That's something that we need to, as I said, teach our kids. That is something we need to teach our kids about how taxes work. And again, going back to what I was saying with the whole movement, I moved from the city that I moved from, which was in the city, because I could move. I had money to move. People was coming and destroying my property. I'm gonna keep it simple on that one. People came and tried to destroy my property. And I was like, okay, that's crazy. And I'm paying crazy amount of taxes for what now? And this is how crazy it was. You know what? Forget it. I'll say it. So let me see. The neighborhood I moved from was pretty good in where it was. Neighborhood was all right. Blacks, whites, whatever, no problem. They had apartments. They gave the apartments to Section 8. After that, crime went up. They're not in the neighborhood, but apartments was far from, not far. It was, maybe about a block or two away from the subdivision. But these kids, again, going back to matters, which I'll show you, these kids went through people's neighborhood. The house that they every house on the street that I had almost got broken into that I know of. They broke into the house to the left of me. African family didn't do no wrong, whatever. They did that. I was like, and I told the guys, hey, I'm sorry that I gotta leave. He's like, oh man, it's so bad that you gotta leave. There were Hispanics that was to the left of me, right on me to the left of me. The kids broke into the house, took toilet paper, stuffed it on the toilet exploded. They took a dump in the toilet, exploded into the bathrooms. They tried to break into my house twice. They didn't get in, but the first one was crazy that you try to break in the house and hurt my grandmother and my aunt, who at the time was battling cancer, and you try to do that. Of course, I had security and everything, but that was messed up. Try to break into my house. And then they said, not once, not twice, but the first one I know was those kids. Well, those kids from the neighborhood. They set a fire in the back part of our houses because they have, like where I was, they had a shrubbery and trees and everything, and they used to run through there with their bikes and stuff and whatever, and then go back to the apartments. But one kid did that. He set the thing on fire. It got out of hand. He dropped the bike. The cops find the bike. Now, here's the funny part about this that kills me. Couldn't find the people who break into my house. Couldn't find the cops couldn't, but they could show up at my house and tell me that my grass was too high, and they're gonna find me if I don't cut my grass. Which at the time, my grass in front and side of the house was cut. Now in my house that I have right here, I have a bigger yard. It's and I manicured it more better, of course, in this one, but it's bigger yard. I got it clean. But here's the thing: my front and sides were clean. The only way you could see the grass that was about shin height. I'm 6 foot tall, so that may be like 1 foot in height. And it was like it was winter time, and I was like, whatever. Is if you go into my backyard. So you can't find the people who do this stuff, but you got time to send officers to go to my house to show that. I was like, you know what? I'm out. And because of the burglaries, my my mortgage went up because I got dropped by my insurance, and it's just crazy stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm not paying this thing. I'm out. I'm into the countryside, and that's what I did. That's what I did. I just couldn't take this nonsense no more. It's just ridiculous. You got to teach these kids this situation, but we don't. And the problem is that we don't. Not only do we need to teach black kids our history, past and history, and keep to be good and everything else. Same thing with the white kids, because they think they know this stuff. That's why people talk about. Well, first of all, let me. And I should have started it off like this. Human beings. That's what I say. Human nature. We're human beings. Racism comes from. The root is basically it's a system from tribalism. In our brain, we try to stay with similar people so we can survive. Again, it's innate. It happens. You could try to say you don't, but it does. There's many times when people's like, oh, you go to the high school, you see the black kids with the black, the whites with the white, or Hispanic with the Hispanic. Same thing in jails. Just congregate. That's just who we are. Not all the time it happens, but majority of the time it happens. We need to teach our kids, yes, let's fight and make it more, appealing to make sure that we have no. You can't say you're gonna have inequality because you're gonna have inequality. I can't even say the words out of my mouth because, to be honest, oh my goodness, like, look, we're not gonna stop racism. I've said it before, say it again. I was talking to a person that I don't know what happened, but anyway, came from Rwanda. Tutsis and the Hutus, they kill each other. They're the same color. Sunnis and Shiites, same people killing each other, different religion. Chinese and the Tibetan monk, or Chinese to or Chinese to the Uyghurs. There are more racism on this planet as this moment. More racism, more problems with that than there were back when people was like, oh, the 1600 or back 400, 400 years ago. I'm not saying we disregard what happened 400 years ago. But I would tell what my great grandfather and mother before my grandmother, who's 94 years old right now, did has barely any relevance on what I did. Because again, there's so many kids I know that grew up in a ghetto, had a rough life. I know a couple of these kids, and they became successful. They left their hood and became successful. That is something we need to. That's why I talk about the whole individual thinking part. It needs to happen. It really does. Now, of course, somebody had said, you know what? I'm gonna split this up. This show, because I started late and I don't want to keep anybody, including my people and temporary friend. I'm seeing you guys. Yeah, it's early in the morning for you guys. So I'm gonna split this up into part 1 and part 2 and talk about the other parts next week. Next week's show, and start more early again. Sorry about that. But the manners part, I want to teach. I want at least let me touch on the manners part. I want to talk about the manners part. We don't teach kids. Again, this is one of the reasons I will stand with fathers. There are a lot of fathers who try to be in their children's life, but they don't get to be there. But people say, well, I am not. Women does great stuff. It's a dynamic. It's a dynamic. That is one of the reasons I would. Okay, you know what? Let me shoot. I didn't. Should I? Well, like I said, another thing we don't teach our kids. Mostly these certain kids that I have to say. I want to say this briefly before I get into what we're gonna say. Is we do not teach kids about, because people say America's a racist country. Again, go ask China, but I digress. America's a racist country. Okay, China and Arab countries, but again, I digress. We don't teach them. If that's that, then we should never have the Jay-Z's, the Oprah, the Michael Jordan. We should never have those people, right? They're rich. They have millions of dollars. They do what they're supposed. They're billions of dollars, because you add Oprah to it. Yeah, billions of dollars. So the country is racist and stop black people from gaining prior far. Funny how that happened. I will teach the success stories. So I'm not gonna, like you see right here on the screen. Go and learn about Suzanne Shark. She has a family, 2 great kids, got a husband. She has her own corporation. She funded into, again, She worked with white. Let me. I just slide the thing. I said, I ain't gonna play, but I must think. This black woman not only worked hard, and her parents kept made sure that she did a lot of stuff. She didn't say, "Oh, let's do this situation." No, she worked with a white woman to help get her dreams and do stuff. Right now, she's worth billions of dollars, but she controls $2 trillion. She controlled $2 trillion. Worked over the years, as you can see. Yes, that was her mentor. Was her. And that's my point. I have also stories of this a guy from Jamaica when his mentor was a white pilot to become what he became. Was he in the Guinness Book of Record? The only I think the person, a black person, flying around the whole world in a single engine commuter or something like that. But it was a white man that helped him do that. Again, he needed a father figure. That's why I'm with fathers. Okay, now dads, if you're gonna have, please protect yourself. Wrap it up. That's why I never had unprotected sex. I don't have unprotected sex because, again, trust me, I had my chances where women try to trick me into it. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. But protect yourself. Do not let any older dude tell you any stupid nonsense about, oh, you don't feel us. Shut up with that nonsense. Oh, so you want to go make a mistake of your life, have this woman that, on a whim could change your life forever. 18 years? Oh, no. Protect yourself. You shouldn't have any sex in the first place. Again, we're going to be talking about relationship and everything, unless you have that conversation. But no, most children are born through lust. A lot of people need to understand that. Let's just be honest with it. They're not born through love. They're born through lust. Okay? But no, I would tell my kid, as I will, hey, be careful of everybody. But be careful, watch everything carefully. But if somebody is gonna help, this is like how they helped me to get TT Records off the ground. In certain cases, yeah, I'll take it. Whatever, a black person, a white person helped me with that. I did a lot of the work, but it gave me the opportunity, and I took the opportunity. And I thank George Rooks and Julian Cox and John P. for helping me out by opening up the door. My talent and my hard work got me to where I needed to be, but they opened up the door so that I had the drive to work, and I thank them for it. Even though one opened, Julian Cox, who's, as you guys would know, on the European side, temporary fan, whatever, he opened up the door maybe a little. I'll admit to that. I will admit to that. I might have stuck a toe in, but then that door opened up to Radio T3. I'm traveling the world. I'm even doing shows in the O2 in 2012. Like, it happened. And again, she had her kids, have her husband. They work hard to build up their thing and raise son and a daughter. God bless them. We need to teach these black people, and I think successful people who work hard and do it. That's why on the side chat we talked about when they try to bring you down and say, "Oh, white these the white leftists." Sorry, but that's what I call them. I can't say what I gotta call it that way. People might think it's wrong, but sorry, I gotta call it as is. The white leftists always say, "Oh, we're helping you. We're better." You can't get a voter's ID. You're too stupid. You don't know how to work the internet. You don't know how to work a cell phone. Oh, you don't need the cops in your neighborhood. Yeah, most of the black people in those neighborhoods still know we need the cops. Are you crazy? Even Baltimore, they took away the cops. Crime went up. They're like, "Oh, no, we want the cops back." Ferguson effect. Even Obama himself, President Obama, acknowledged that the cops should have never pulled back from that. We need to show them that, hey, they have stuff to do that, and stop telling them, oh, this and that or whatever. Again, that's one of the reasons I have all of that. I like Michael Jordan for his game, playing basketball and everything. I used to watch basketball. Like I said, funny this. I like the one thing where he said two things that make me look when they were like, it was like, oh, why don't you get into politics? Which is a thing I wish a lot of people do now. Sports. He said, he said, because I don't, I'm selling the products and stuff. I just don't want to get into it. He said, well, you don't sell for Democrats or why? He said, the reason I don't do that because Republicans buy shoes too, which is true. Kind of stupid that you will cut half of your profits because of a stupid ideology. Shout outs to Goya and Red Bull. Then you have what do you call it? Then they asked them, what was it? Asked them again? Oh yeah, don't you feel bad that that your shoes cost so much, and black youths are spending $200, $300 on these shoes? And Jordan said the right thing. I'm not forcing them to buy these shoes. I wish they don't buy the shoes, but I'm not forcing them to buy the shoes, which is true. That's another thing we got. That's why I said the old saying of keeping up with the Joneses. That saying, you know why the Joneses have no problem? Because they're not keeping up with nobody else. You're trying to keep up with them while they ain't doing nothing. They are the top. They don't care. So you go broke while you try to keep up with them while they sit back in their place, your house, and just chill. That's what they get. So we need to do that as well too. I know a lot of people don't even know who Suzanne Sharks is. There's a lot of people out there who have done stuff. And again, with the color stuff, like you said with the racist thing, you think a white racist, if he had a brain surgery, and you think Ben Carson was the which he has done miracles, and he's another one who came from the ghetto and did horrible stuff when he was young and changed his way of thinking. Y'all don't like him because he's a Republican now, whatever. That's kind of stupid because again, in the school, the place where he come from, they didn't want to name the school after him. Okay, you don't want to care because they're Republican? No, because he has saved many lives, literally saved many lives, babies and stuff like that. And again, he's one of something to be famous of. He became a brain surgeon, and I could guarantee you, most white racist person, if you're thinking that they're like, oh, give me the best that your doctor, the best doctor you can give me. Oh, it's a black man. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna get me. If that's the best, they're gonna take the best. Don't give it them with the color. It's gonna be the best. In the black community, yes, in America, we need to prop up and not even gotta prop up, but just show, hey, they're successful people who work hard and didn't fall through the cracks, didn't do no crime, didn't have to go steal, didn't have to do nothing, try their best to stay out of trouble, and what do you think? You think she talked about, people say, oh, she's acting white. The black people, oh, she's acting white because she spoke well. She wanted to do education. She was a nerd. Look at this nerd right now. Again, have a successful family, has her own corporation worth billions of dollars, and controls, again, $2 trillion. Okay? $2 trillion. That's what she's doing. So, in that regard, let me go and finish what I was saying. But you do have to call out the negatives. The problem is we're so scared to call out the negatives of what's going on in the society. We call out negatives, yes, but not in a way that we should. That's another way not teaching your kids that. So right now, when you don't teach how it matters, I'm sorry, but I gotta call it out and see what it is. So right now, let me bring up. Oops. Apologize right there. All right. Oh yeah, I already have it up. Okay, all right up. Like I said, we don't teach kids our manners. Funny how a Jewish guy gave a black guy to take all the badness of black people to make millions of dollars. Weird how that works, but whatever. This is something, and this is what's going on. You're telling me. So let me get it straight. The lady here is trying to, because you're going to hear a lot of cursing. So at this point, I'm going to say this. There's going to be cursing. I apologize for that. Warning right up front. But I'm going to give it as raw cut as best as I can. So if you're driving or you listen to this, your podcast or anything, just audio, they're going to be cursing coming up because this is actual video uncensored. Sometimes I try to bleep it out. I didn't have the time to go through all that today. But to give you what's going on, the in a tax office, she did not fill out a form with the number. So the lady's telling her, hey, here's you can't, which just makes sense. Without the tax ID, you can't file. You just can't file, but that's what it is. But, and again, remember, there's a lot of kids, 74% of children are born to single mothers for the black community. I think it's 42 for whites, but in the black community in America, for black people in America, 74. Okay, and you're telling me these young, this is gonna tell you where these young boys get that chip on their shoulder if you just step on their shoes or just say the N-word or whatever they don't like it, and then start shooting, stabbing, killing, doing all kind of crazy stuff. Right? But let's see how that go.
Motherfucking bank, I've been talking to your bitch. We're in your motherfucking pocket. Okay, so fuck, we don't know Rashada, bitch. I don't know you. You don't know me. You got all my information, bitch. What? Bitch, what?
Took her phone. Took her phone.
Don't do that. Don't do that. It's new.
Oh, there you go.
You don't know. Alright, so why would I give her all the information? You didn't give me shit. That's the thing. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear
And of course, you saw who started the fight, like the fisticuffs, and what she got in her hand? A kid, a young boy. And you want to know why these guys grew up and learn how to curse and everything, like I said.
Bitch, if I want no money, bitch, I'm beating your ass. If you want to be born, Martin Luther King. You let me just sing right there, and I'll chop this shit. Punk ass bitch. You better come get us stuff too, bitch. Straight up. Start again.
Little kids. You telling me that little boy gonna have the chances of that little boy not gonna be in a lot of trouble is slim to none. Can he escape it? Yes. But this is the environment.
She got a purse? Bitch, you didn't walk on no purse? And you don't? No. This bitch ain't got nothing. You a bum, bitch. You jumping out of cab. You a bum, bitch. Bitch. I'm sorry. I will be dead. Don't care nothing else. I'm not. Y'all tear up the computer. I'm not. Get your paperwork. Come on back, bitch. Come on back. Bitch, I'm from West Oakland, bitch. Come on back, bitch. Bitch. I got a little nail shop. My birthday on me is that. That's okay. I'm gonna come back.
No, that ain't the police. Not
Now, let's take it to the next level. Now the child has grown up a little bit. Now, you're disturbing the class. The teacher is telling you to leave. Because in a lot of school districts now, They're saying because blacks are disproportionately that's why I hate when they say that, but disproportionately disciplined. Yeah, because they cause the trouble. A bad kid. It could be a white kid, it could be Hispanic. I don't care. You do bad, you whatever. Now you can't discipline them. You can't. And they know it. So they act more crazier. And again, single mom, that you saw a situation now. Same thing now. Let's take it to the next level.
Don't his breath smell like ass? He was holding my face and then I smelled his breath. I was like, your breath smell like ass. Oh, your breath smell like ass. You made rock
Again, a lot of damn teachers. I implore you, you guys. So a lot of you guys, because I got videos about this too. You said that you can't teach. You got to be a babysitter more than a teacher. Get out.
Keyboard coming across your fucking face. Touch me.
That's language. That touch you go.
Right here. Right here. Get up again. Keep the classroom. Keep the classroom. You're not going to hit me. I got
Well, that escalated quickly, and he forgot that homeboy. Just because I got glasses on and I got my little suit on, it doesn't mean I can't hold myself either. Kid learn quickly. It'd be good if his dad taught him that. Oh wait, how that works. All right, and here's another. And here's why I say this. This is why. This is gonna be not the best video because it was grainy. I'm gonna slow it up a little bit. Little kid talking crap. Again, a boy talking crap. Little kid talking crap to an older lady, cursing and kicking her. But you'll see, like I said.
You better watch your goddamn mouth.
There was the video started a little where there's longer video of this because it's like an edit of somebody doing this. She was kicking the old lady. He was kicking the old lady like a couple more times before when she was sitting down. And I'm like, why? And they got into it again. So little kid cursing, bucked up, emotionally charged. And we're gonna see where he gets it from. Funny how as soon as something happens, we'll see.
You better watch your goddamn mouth. You are wrong, little boy. You pick me up. Stop. Oh. Stop. Stop.
Exactly. Basically, that is. Kid start crying when she did that. Don't say that the mother should have, the old lady should have done that, but there's so much a person could take. That's the problem. There's so much a person could take. And of course, she saw the kid for a while doing this to the old lady. Did she stop the kid from doing that? Yo, Johnny, I don't even know what the Jikukika, whatever they call these kids nowadays. Stop that. Don't do that. Why are you hitting lady? Leave her alone. Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. Or if the ma'am started it, because I think I said the real raw video didn't, but don't whatever. But keep on kicking it. Didn't say nothing. But when that happened, oh, now you bucking up. Oh, you hit my kid. You hit my kid. Your kid was hitting the old lady all the time. And you ain't gonna tell me that again. Manners. You don't teach these kids this. It's sad. We got to teach them to do better. That's why I am a strong advocate for fathers. And to the young men out there, that's what also this one of the reasons why I always have protected sex with anybody I have. Even when I was engaged, I have protected sex. Just because I'm engaged doesn't mean things could go south, and that has been shown. So you need to protect yourself. You're not protecting yourself not only from viruses, not only from diseases, you also protect yourself from a situation where it can ruin your life. I have stories of fathers who try to do the right thing, and oh my God, the government system destroyed them. And again, funny enough, people say about, oh, systemic racism, we hate the government, blah, blah, blah. But then you still marry the government to get your welfare. That's why Lyndon B. Johnson said, if you gave me the Great Society, I will have these, and I don't like using this word, but it's a straight quote. If you give me the Great Society, I will have these niggas voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And it's been 60. It's been good so far. He's been correct. Now, my thing is always this. If you don't have to vote Republican, because again, they ain't no better either, because they're cowards. Really pants cowards. But hold the people to you vote them in, hold it to them. If not, throw them out, put another Democrat in, but don't let them stay in there to get the power to do stuff. The reason I said it because before I end this is going into this. John, crazy. But John Lewis passed away from Atlanta. He was a pioneer, and he did. I looked into his stuff. He did do a lot of good stuff in the Civil War. He was, he got beaten up, went to jail. He fought for that fight, and I respect him for that. And people now, you have people like Charlamagne the God and stuff for the Breakfast Club saying, "Oh, it's crazy that Marco Rubio's saying that he was a legend, but then because they're Republicans, they couldn't say that." Here's the problem, Charlamagne, and that's why I don't like you, sir. Because you're faking. You try to say keep it real to a degree, but to be honest with you, here's the thing. John Lewis did do a lot of stuff that was good back in those days. Not gonna deny that. Not gonna take that away. Then he became a congressman, and then the power corrupted him. He became a corrupted politician. I give an example on the right. John McCain. Yes, he did get his arm broken. Yes, he did do. He was a war hero. I'm not gonna knock him for that. He was captured. He was tortured. He was a war hero. He didn't give out stuff. He did what he was supposed to do. That's one of the things I don't like what President Trump said about John McCain. That's kind of crazy. But he was correct that he was a horrible senator. And I'm not gonna just because he got in there. No, he was a horrible senator. That's one of the reasons I didn't vote for him when it was between Barack Obama and John McCain. A lot of people, it's funny how like, oh, when John McCain went against President Trump, then the Democrats was cheering him and couldn't. I don't do that. No, I remember what you did. If you did something, as I said before, I always say it if you listen to this show, I might not like you, but I ain't gonna lie on you. I don't have to lie on you to prove my point. Okay? I don't. I never will, because proof. If I go provide the evidence and the proof right there, we good. But I ain't gonna lie just to make you out to what it is. John McCain, no. You know, he was a bad senator. I'm not going to deny it. He was. You can't talk one thing to your constituents, and then when you get into the House, when you get back to the Senate in D.C., you do the total 180 from what you told people to get votes. You can't do that, but they do. They get away with it. Charlie Rangel, he's passed away as well too. It's funny now, a lot of these people passed away who are crooked pieces of crap. Got convicted of stealing money, taxpayers' money, but New York still voted him in. Marion Barry doing crack, still voted him in. How the world works. So as I said again, you don't have to go. Technically speaking, we need a third party, but I'll get into that as well too. That's why I'm a libertarian, and I do not. As of a week ago, I don't stand for my libertarian cabinet. Jay Jurgensen, because she says some stupid stuff. I'm like, okay, y'all didn't like the guy before. I understand because of the whole Aleppo thing, which is still puzzling me. You know, he said, you're not gonna know every damn country in the world. Hell, there's kids who don't even know their own states. But he did play it off wrong. He should have just said, okay, that's the capital for Syria. Okay, I did not know about that. Thank you, whatever. That's all right. Well, I think that, and he could have played out better, but he didn't. But still, I'm not gonna blame him because he didn't know that Aleppo was that. So again, a lot of people don't even know what the heck's going on. I remember when I was coworker. I'll leave it at that. He was like, President Trump said he was like, he's like Roosevelt. I was like, which one? He's like, think, Roosevelt. I was like, yeah, which one? There's Franklin D. Roosevelt and Teddy Roosevelt. Which one? It was a simple question. He didn't call that up. That's why I asked. He thought, that's my whole point. They don't know these things sometimes, so come on. But I'll get into the third part. But again, I'll finish this. This is the part one. I'll finish this on the next side because it needs to be talked about, of course. So with that, just letting you know. Again, thank you guys for joining me tonight. And so we got more stuff to talk about. I apologize. Like I said, I started late and I'm gonna try to get way, way better than this. I don't want that stereotype to be with me that I start late. I'll really try my best to do that. But sometimes coming from doing work and getting stuff together is not easy because I'm a one-man show. So I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. Again, thank you, Tempo FM. Thank you, Project Open. This is Project Open Mic, Tempo FM. Thank you guys for hosting. Again, you'll go to YouTube at Project Open Mic on YouTube. If you want to catch the backlog of all the videos that we have done, this is episode 6. So if you want to take 1 to 5 and see the evolution of how this show has come, because it is an evolution, you can check it out. And of course, Facebook, thank you all for joining in as well too. So again, if you want to contact and catch us up, you could go to Project Open Mic on Twitter, Project Open Mic on Instagram. Of course, we have, if you want to email, you can do Project Open Mic T3@gmail.com. All right. So again, we're gonna continue this topic next week. Hopefully, I know I already got my window as well what I need, so I know for sure. Hopefully, 8:30 Eastern next week Thursday. That's where Project Mike. Oh, don't forget, check out our new show that's a part of the Project of Mike. You can check on YouTube, and I keep called the Side Chat. It basically is a conversation starter where we just talk about random topics. And again, if anybody wants to join in, let me know. If you have a Hangout app, you could want to join in join in the conversation where we talk about. Gladly, my thing is as long as you keep it cordial and civil, we all cool, of course. But again, check it out tomorrow. I think 8 o'clock. We'll see what it is with me and Trip as we talk about conversations. You can check the first episode of Sidetrap on YouTube if you want to. But right now, as the music is playing, it's game over. So I'm calling it a night. Wish you guys a happy night. Be safe out there for those who are in the really, really dangerous areas. If you are in New York and Portland and Chicago and everything, it's sad that even when you have a funeral, 40 people still get shot. And funny, again, the news media love to talk about mass shootings, but 40 people got shot, not a mass shooting. That's why I said you gotta do your homework. It's sad how things are, you can't get straight facts, but you get all spin. Again, we need to do better for our kids. So again, tomorrow, check out the side chat with me and Trip. Hopefully we might get some more people onto it. We'll see, have a conversation. But again, thank you all for joining us with D3. I'm Tig, your host, and I can also catch you next week, Project Open Mic.